one of the most scenic areas in this preserve. One of my favorite sections to walk through here. This old tramway. It's elevated above the surrounding cypress swamps. And there's just some really great views here. Amazing nature. It's almost like walking through a cypress tunnel there, because you have cypress trees on either side of you. Okay, testing, action. Actually, before I do this video clip, I want to maybe take some photos of this area. Right here is where Cypress Creek is, so holy crap, that scared me there. I don't know if you guys saw that. I didn't see it. It was an alligator right there. Whew. See, it was got spooked. There's alligator there on the banks there of this swamp where the creek is, right behind me. Just sunning itself there. I didn't see it. It saw me, got spooked, and rushed into the water there, but it spooked me too. That happens a lot, actually. So let's take a quick break right here, and I'll check back in with you guys. That was an interesting encounter there with that alligator. I didn't mean to spook it like that. I didn't see it there, and it probably didn't expect me to come around the trail. As I said before, it happens a lot when I'm out here in the woods. I'll come across wildlife, and I try to keep my eye out and be very cautious. But a lot of times when they see me, they scurry off, just like that alligator did. People often ask me, you know, what kind of wildlife do I see out here? How do I handle it and hiking these areas, you know, with snakes and alligators and animals like that? Well, I can tell you I don't see a lot of snakes. I mean, actually, I do see a fair amount of them, but as far as the venomous ones, I don't see them as often as you may think. They often try to keep hidden and away from people. What you have to be careful of is when you're out here hiking in these woods is they could be out here sunning themselves, and when accidents happen, it's usually when someone steps on one or doesn't see one, and that's why they bite you. I don't think snakes intentionally come after you. I never had any come after me. In all the years I've been out here exploring, I've come across many of them and had to walk around them. Many times they'll scurry off, but like some of the diamondbacks I see, they don't move. They stay in their territory, so I respect their territory and keep my distance, and that's how I am with all wildlife. I try to keep my distance and respect their space and territory. I'm in their space out here, and it's a blessing to be able to see the wildlife. I enjoy it very much. There's something about when you see the wildlife, there's a connection to it that you feel. So I see a lot of alligators. Usually, like, I'll see them in the water, kind of just floating there or sunning themselves. They're not very active unless they're hunting. They try to save the energy the best they can, especially on days like this where the sun is beating down. They want to get out here and get the sun, get their energy up. So they don't want to move around. Some of the snakes I do try to watch out for are the pygmy rattler snakes, because they blend in so much with the landscape. You could easily step on one. And they're small and venomous. Regardless, I would not like to get bitten, so I do my best to stay away from them. That's a very common snake that I see out here. In fact, when I was just doing some bushwhacking, hiking through the woods here, I do a lot of looking down on the ground when I'm walking because I want to watch my step. You see a lot of deer, bobcat, a lot of boars out here. So I'm hiking away from the swamps right now on this trail. I'm kind of looping back around to where I came in at. I'm exploring out here in the swamps a little bit, as much as I can. It can be a little difficult during the rainy season. It's been a wet summer, so these swamps get a lot of water. And there's a lot of cypress trees out here, old ones, big cypress stumps as well. A lot of them were cut down long ago during the logging era. And I remember a few years ago, we had a drought here in Florida. It didn't rain for a while. I think it was late spring, early summer. We didn't get any rain. And a lot of these swamps got really dry, so I hiked in really far trying to find some cypress trees out here, because there's some big ones out in the swamps. In fact, one of Florida's largest cypress trees is out here in this preserve somewhere. It's out in the middle of the swamp. I always tried to find it, but I could never track it down. So when we had that drought, I figured that was the best time to really get out there and get deep into the swamps and try to find it. I still couldn't see it, but it was pretty neat because I saw some really big cypress trees. A lot of the old stumps that were left over. So I'm getting further out here. And it's not really wet right now, just a lot of tall grasses. So I think that's about as far as I'm going to go in on this adventure. But I wanted to come up to this area, at least scout it out. I do that a lot of times when I'm in these areas. I'll get to a certain section, I'll kind of scout around a little bit, and then I'll make a mental note of it. I also track these locations on my maps. So I'm going to come back out here in the future. I think this could be a good spot to get into the swamps. There's some areas back there I want to explore, as far as trying to find some big cypress trees. You got to go way off the beaten path in these places. So this looks like a good section to do that. Come out here in the winter time when it's dry. Now, try to make my way back up towards the trail. I mean, I could see some cypress stumps just down here in this little area. See the trail just up ahead there. Okay, back up on the trail. So interesting area there. This trail is elevated a little bit above these swamps. I'm going to follow this around. Takes you further into the preserve. A lot of cypress swamps through that way.